just don't think you can. Yeah.
So that, what did we learn in this? What is the first thing usually we do? Lecturing, lecturing, lecture. ولو بقى في حد فيكم, any one of you is education major or something, or Sunday school teacher, or you love to teach, and you go بقى in all the lecturing, and I told you this number one and this number two, and I have told you and you didn't get it, and that's why sometimes we face the problem of that the kids, and it broke my heart. One of the girls in the summer camp said, "I'm not smart. Abuna, I'm not smart." And I told her, why are you saying this? You are smart, you are bright, you can, and it was not, we were not speaking about something sophisticated, but it is the belief system that goes inside when I start lecturing. And when people are feeling, you know what, maybe I didn't get it, or I'm not dumb, it build up resentment. غل من جوه, that I need to get back. Give me a break. Why you are lecturing? I know what you are talking about. This next visual summarize what to avoid when providing consequences. You will open page 22 in your in the notebook, the workbook. And consequences lose their power when it deliver with purpose of getting even with the kids. Consequences lose their power when it is delivered with purpose of getting even with our kids. And I told you now are okay. Or provided with anger, a lot of anger or frustration or sarcasm, making fun of the kids or making fun of the person, you will never get it. You don't understand anything. You will never achieve anything in life. You will not be like your brother or your sister who are way smarter than you. Those comments cut very deep in the heart of the kids, especially if it is coming from mom and dad, especially if it is coming from dad to the girls and mom to the boys. There is a story in Upper Egypt of a college student had an incident when he was in 6th grade. He loved the hymns. You know, when some people, they love hymns, but their voice is very bad. So when they sing the hymns, it's just, people are telling them, you know, even if you know it, but don't say it. So the young boy started singing hymns, and when he was singing hymns, his mom came and she offered him a little your voice is like a voice of a donkey. Please don't speak. Don't say anything. And the boy is in college وبياخد speech therapy. A college, speech therapy. Your words are very powerful, and it can cut very deep in the hearts of the kids, and it can change how they think about themselves, what they believe about themselves, what they see. When we are even communicating this to them, sometimes Hasana, I'm joking, and she knows that I'm joking, or he knows that I'm joking. No, they don't know that you are joking. It cuts deep in the heart. And the many stories, and I'm just giving you the story of this guy who's in speech therapy when he is in college, because of something that deep has been mentioned to him when he was little. The consequences lose their power when they are accompanied with repeated warning or lectures. This is very common in the Egyptian community. This is the first time I told you clean up your room. This is the second time. Then this is the third time. And then you go angry. after the third time, anyone got a speed ticket recently? Public confession, there's no problem. Any parking tickets? When you get the ticket, the officer will never tell you, oh, this is the first warning. When I see you next time, if you do the same thing, no. There is no warning. It's just you broke the law. You take the consequence with a big smile. The repeated warning and the lecturing. The kids, they zone out. You're like نفض. They zone out. They zone out from the mom or the dad because just and every mistake I'm going to do, they're going to give me a lecture for 30 minutes. I'm done. So you see the kids, the parents are speaking, and the kids are thinking of anything else. As if they are telling them, are you done? خلصت يعني. Are you done? Okay. Then they move on. So the consequence that you give to the kids, if it is to get even, it loses its power. If because of you are angry or frustrated, you are angry or frustrated or having sarcasm, it loses its impact. When also it is repeated warning or lecturing. Also, if we feel sorry for our kids and give in, and this happens when we say no, بس يعني this was an extreme consequence. There is a nice rule. Better not to give consequence, but if you give a consequence, you need to follow through. It is better not to give a consequence. But if you give a consequence, don't follow through. Or you must follow through. Because they don't take you serious and they say, no, it's no big deal. We'll do whatever and everything should be okay. So those are the 4 things that affect the consequences that we do. Effective parents understand these points about providing consequence. They also know the importance of providing security of loving limits. Security of loving limits. The following visual outline what we will learn in this session. This visual is also provided on page 22 of the workbook.
My dad gave me a great gift. My dad had an education you couldn't believe. 4th grade graduate. Yeah, 4th grade, dropped out of school in 4th grade. All the kids dropped out of school at that time to help keep everything going back then. And the education came on the streets. And then he became a parent when he was very young. And he gave his kids a great gift from what he had learned out on the streets. And that was, when you say yes, your yes means yes. And when you say no, your no means no. Yes means yes, and no means no. And you don't have to question it. How comforting that was back in those days. I didn't realize it at the time, but I know so many kids that I see who are just totally out of control, so anxious, so acting out constantly, testing, because they don't know that yes is yes and no is no. So, and how do we get that done? Well, we learned earlier that by neutralizing the arguing, we can do a lot for that, can't we? And sometimes it has to be with our actions. And a lot of times, if we can have these little training sessions like we've been learning about here so far, it can help. And I remember one lady who learned how to do this, She was in Target. You ever been in a store like that and heard a mother trying to convince their kids that they don't need a new toy? How does this work? Pretty good? Well, she was working pretty good at it because he was over there. That's what I want. Yeah, I wanted that. No, I said, we're not going to buy anything today. Yeah, but I really want it. I really want it. I never had it. No, we're not going to get it. I look, I don't have money for that kind of stuff. And pretty soon it was something like, I don't even have money enough for food. How am I supposed to? Now, at this point, is he now saying things like, oh, I never thought of that. That's good information. Thanks for sharing that. He just keeps building up, building up, building up, because he knows that if he keeps after it, he'll finally get his way, right? And finally, she just says, no, you're not getting it, so just shut up. He said, I'm getting it, you're buying it for me. And he grabbed it off the shelf and he put it in the basket. And she grabs it off the basket and she puts it back on the shelf. And this little kid, mind you, he's 5 years of age, looked up at her and said, that sucks. Now, would you guess he has an older brother or sister in the family? Now, what have we learned so far that we might do when a kid does that? Might we do something like, I know, nice try, or just, oh, you know? But she had her own technique, and here's what sounded, don't you say that word. That's a nasty word. I don't want to hear that word out of your mouth. You have that word out of your mouth one more time? No, I know your sister used that word. Yeah, but you're not going to start using it. I am sick and tired, and you're... In the minute that was not working, she went for the ultimate. The phrase that all kids live and die to hear you say. So they know you're at the end of the rope and you have no skills left. You're in a state of desperation. You feel totally impotent. She said it. She blurted it out. I mean it. And the minute he heard I mean it, he looked up at her and he goes, suck, 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 suck. I thought she was going to rip his head off. But, you know, I wiggled my way into the checkout line right beside her. This is too good to pass up, you know. And of course, you know, I'm 78 years old. I've learned a lot of things in my life. I've accumulated a certain amount of wisdom. So let's vote on how you think I got it. How many think I got it by listening to my parents? How many think I got it by making big mistakes and paying the price? Okay. And one of the things I've learned is you don't go to a woman like this and say, boy, you're a really crummy parent, but I could get you straightened out. I'm a parenting expert. No, we better stay friends a little bit longer. What did we learn so far? If we want people to listen to us, the first thing out of our mouth has to be sincere, right? Oh, it's rough raising kids today, isn't it? Oh, tell me about it. I never thought it'd be so hard. I just really wanted this little baby, and I just loved him when he was little, and now I just hate him. I couldn't believe she was talking to me right in front of that kid. I just wanted to go pick that kid up and say, oh, come on. Come with me. I'll take care of you. I'll love you.
One of the things that definitely never do or never say, even if you are frustrated, even if you are angry, mad, whatever is the feeling, is that I hate dealing with you, I hate the person, or I don't want to see you again, or this cuts deep with a very strong message of rejection. Last Sunday, we had a servant meeting, and we had the 10 reasons how kids move from their sexual orientation to be straight or being attracted to the same gender, SSA, which is same-sex attraction. And the 10 reasons are wounds. Wounds in parenting, wounds with mom, wounds with dad, wounds with sibling, wounds. Very long list, 10 reasons are wounds. Those are type of the wounds that we can come across, and I hate this kid. Or do you know when you have a kid that looks like you and thinks like you and talks like you, and another kid that talks and think like your spouse, حد شبهك قوي, so you feel connected to this person so much, while you don't feel that much connected or easily frustrated from يا أخي غور أنت شبه بابا, or go away, you look like dad, or you look like mom, or you act like. All of those are very strong. You are creating, you are digging or putting a knife in their back or in their heart, squeezing it so hard. It is a very deep wound.
And if you ask me to, I'll kick her butt for talking to you.
Very deep wounds. So those stuff is a big no. Even if this kid you love the most, or this kid you hate the most, don't even. I will challenge you. This is a personal challenge. May God keep it, but this is a personal challenge. Go and ask any of my family members, who is your favorite? And if you get an answer, good luck. Because even if I have a favorite in my heart or in my mind, I never shared it with Manel till this day. It does not exist even. You understand my point? If you share it, if you start sharing it, then she knows, then he knows, then they overhear you. Then they know, you know what, the favorite to dad is X or Y or B or A, and dad does not love me, or the mom does not like me. And you go on, and this is a very deep wound, that cut deep in the heart of the kids. And this is one of the reasons, if we have time, I can share with you one or two slides that we shared with the servants about the reasons how to raise up straight kids, that kids are feeling comfortable who they are, feeling comfortable with their parents, feeling comfortable with their environment that they are growing in.
Like that, but no, I thought, no, better stay friends a little bit longer. So I said, could you use some laughs? Oh, I could use some laughs. Now that's exactly the way you introduce your friends to Love and Logic. You don't go say, I learned this stuff and you really need it. No. You hand them one of your CDs and you say, could you use some laughs? And it just so happens that when I go out in public, I stock up on some of those. I got them in my pockets and I hand them out, because I've never been hurt by the things that I give away like that. So I said, I got a CD here. It's really funny. It's called Helicopters, Drill Sergeants, and Consultants. Maybe if you listen to that on the way home, it would give you some laughs and forget how tough this is. And if you like it, write me a letter. So the address is right on there. Well, I got a letter 4 months later, and she was telling me all about being a single parent, and how hard that is to be a single parent, and how all her friends were single parents, and how they were all frustrated with their kids, and they were all yelling at their kids, and then they hate themselves for yelling at the kids, and then they yell more at the kids because they're frustrated, and so on. She said, I listened to that and giggled all the way home, and then I decided I can do it. But I remembered you said, take it slow, figure out one thing. And she said, I remember you said, find one thing that you're going to deal with, and then build yourself a plan. And once you've got that plan, don't use it. Put it up on the shelf. until you've had time to go to your friends and say, what might go wrong, what might go wrong, what might go wrong. And I decided that I was going to use his acting out and begging in public as the one thing to get me started with this kid.
It is very, very helpful when you nail down one thing you want to deal with the kid about it. Yeah, sometimes if you ask, my kids, I'm frustrated from my first son, or because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and my second son because of number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and you have a list of stuff that frustrates you or you are upset from. It is very important. Focus on one thing and try to think it through. Try really to dig deeper in it. Go to your friends, go to people who are aware of what you are doing, and tell them, you know what might go wrong if I applied this, what might go wrong if I applied this, so as they will help you be ready for any issue that will come up in the future.
So I got my plan together with the help of my friends, and I was finally ready to use it, and I couldn't wait. And I called up my mother and I said, Mom, tomorrow will be the last day that Roger ever begs in the store, because I've got this plan. I've been working it through. I even went to the manager of Target, and he knows I'm coming. He said, I'm going to come in there with a cart, and I'm going to start shopping, and I'm going to get all this stuff in the cart that he likes, like cookies and ice cream and all that good stuff. And the minute he starts to beg, I'm going to turn around, I'm going to leave that cart right there, I'm going to march his little body right out of that store and say, no, we're not going to have that in the store, and I'm going to take him home. Mother said, sounds like a pretty good plan. But I know him. And what are you going to do if he throws himself on the floor and refuses to leave the store? Oh, no. I never thought of that. Is she ready? No? Got some more holes to plug? So she went back to her friends and said, we got another hole to plug. Got to do something if he acts up and throws himself on the floor and refuses to leave. One of the friends said, I got an idea. I could go down there and I could stay out of sight, see? And he won't know I'm there. And if he refuses to leave, you just turn and walk out of there without even looking back. And she said, I'll rescue him. And I'll charge him for the rescue mission. And I'll make sure he's safe because we want him to be safe. And Mom said, well, that sounds like a good idea, but he doesn't have any money to pay for the rescue mission. She said, I'll accept toys. Well, he doesn't really have anything he really values. Oh, then we better get him something that he really wants first, so he'll have something that's really important. Yeah. And
this is what he means by closing the loop and thinking through the consequence. It takes time. It takes time, but because we are stressed, we are rushed, we want things very quickly. We go in this vicious cycle. I'm angry, I'm frustrated, then I'm yelling, then I'm escalating things, then I'm threatening. Some kids, a mom told her son, if you don't stop yelling, I will prevent you from going to church on Holy Week. What is the point? If your kid wants to go to the church in Holy Week and you are... So my point, you need to slow down to think of what is really the one attitude or the one wrong behavior that you want to change in one of the kids, and think through it as the story, and it will pay back. The problem is I don't have time, I don't think, and we continue yelling and continue losing our peace.
Well, wait a minute. What about the manager at Target? Does he know you're going to leave all that stuff there? Maybe you better talk to him again. She said, no, I talked to him already. Got that covered. I told him I was going to come in and do this whole thing, but not to worry about the stuff in the cart, that I would come back and put it back on the shelf. You know what he told me? He told me if I'd let him watch, he'd put the stuff back on the shelf. Yeah, he wanted to be part of this. Does it sound like she's ready now? Oh, yeah. Hardly sleep. See, you always know when you're ready for these because you can hardly sleep the night before. And she got up the next morning and she said, well, before we know what she said, maybe it'd be good to know what she used to say. You may already know, right? Roger, we're going shopping and you better not act up in the store and there's no begging and I'm not buying anything, followed by what words, everybody? And I mean it, yes, okay. But not today. She's been practicing. She goes to him. Now, did she grin or frown? Grin. I didn't hear you. Grin. Yell or whisper? Whisper. Oh, Roger, you're welcome to shop with me today as long as you don't make a problem. Good luck. Roger didn't understand what was going on, and he went to the store. And now they're shopping, and she's filling up the cart with all the goodies, and pretty soon he spies that cherished thing, and he says, that's it, that's what I want. She said, no, we're not buying anything today. Yeah, but I really want it. No, we're not. But I want it. You always get what you want. No, you're not going to get it. Told you not. He said, you're buying it. You're getting it for me. And he grabs it off the shelf just like last time and throws it into the basket. Just like last time she grabs it out of the basket, she puts it on the shelf. And just like last time, he looks up at her and he says, that sucks. And she said, I was so ready for him, I almost laughed right in his face. She said, but I got right in his face. I prayed for bad breath. I got right in his face, grinned or frowned, yelled or whispered. Oh, do you notice that when Charles and I talk to the kids, we always have a little trigger sound at first? And what is that? That's to get the brain into listening mode, right? Oh, and then a pause. Oh, that was such a bad decision. I'm going to have to do something about that. She said, we're leaving the store. And she said, I turned around and I headed for that door. And I knew that one of two things was going to happen. One, he was going to follow me. Or two, he was going to throw himself on the floor and have a fit and refuse to leave. Did she care which? Was she secretly praying for one over the other? She said, to my utter dismay, he followed me. Yeah, but he kept pointing back there. She said, no, got to learn how to behave in the store. We're going home. She took him home and said nothing. Said nothing. And the next morning she got up. Roger, got to go finish my shopping, and it's going to be a wonderful, glorious day in Target today. You know why? You won't be there. I won't have to listen to a 5-year-old going suck, 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 suck. It's going to be your very first opportunity to hire your own personal babysitter. Her name is Mabel. She's parked at the curb. Here she comes. She looks mean. Well, that'll be interesting to find out. She's going to expect you to pay since it's your babysitter. I don't have any money. I can't pay. Oh, that is sad. When you don't have money, you got to pay with stuff. Toys or whatever, but you work that out with Mabel. I'm going shopping. See ya. And off she went. And she said, I had a great time shopping, and I took my sweet time. And on the way home, I decided I'm going to lock this in. So she stops at the Dairy Queen on the way home. And when she walks in the front door, she's eating a hot fudge sundae and drinking a Coke. Roger, are you through with Mabel? Send her home, she's mean, I hate her. What do you mean you hate her? She's mean. What do you mean she's mean? She made me pay for my babysitting with my galactic space rover, and I just got it, and it was brand new. I guess what happened when Mabel said you have to pay for the babysitting, he went to the toy box, he found the rattiest old toy he could find. She would not accept it. I guess the morning was mostly spent with him going back and forth to the toy box, and she would only accept the latest and the best. Now, is that too high a price for him to pay for a lesson like this? Oh. But Mama decided she'll be the good guy. She said, well, if Mabel's mean, send her home. She's your babysitter. Go home, Mabel, you're mean. Let's you and me go eat cookies and read stories. We'll have a good time. We'll forget about how mean she is. And she said, I could hardly read for one to giggle. And then suddenly, it wasn't funny anymore. She said, I got to thinking, wait a minute. I spent all that time, all that energy on only one behavior. She said, if I have to spend that much time and that much energy on every one of his misbehaviors, put up for foster care. Now, wait a minute. Did I say put kids up for foster care? I did not, right? She said that, okay. Besides, it's a metaphor, isn't it? But she said, while I was reading, suddenly it hit me. Wait a minute. You said if I can pull this off just once and make it look really, really easy, there could be a transfer effect. It will transfer over to other things. If I can just trigger that same thought that was in Target. And she said, we saw it happen 2 days later.
This is a very important key. Now, because who will be thinking of going through all of these steps just for shopping in Target? You're like, this is crazy, this is ridiculous. مين هيعمل كده؟ ده مجنون. Who has this all this time? But the point is, no, you don't. You do it once, and you follow through all the steps. It will roll over on the other behaviors, because they know that you are serious. I will tell you about something. This almost the same exact thing happened with my two kids, my daughter and my son, 5 and 3 years old. Now they are 18, almost 18 and 16. We are going to Costco, and I am rushed. I don't have time. Then I told them, you know what, we'll stay in the cart, we'll go to Costco, please, don't jump off the cart. If you jump off the cart, I will put you back, and don't touch anything from the store. Promise, 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 promise. Oh, go in Costco. First thing they did, they jumped from the cart. Then the daughter helped her brother to jump off the cart, and I'm watching. And they started running around and touching the stuff that they can get hold of. And I told them, you know what, this is not going to work out, guys. And I took my daughter, put her in the cart. I took my son, put him in the cart. And she started screaming, 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 and my son is silent. She pushed him. And he started screaming, screaming, screaming. And just visualize this. And I'm in the cart. I have a few items in the cart, and people are going from the aisles. Well, but it's a big noise. It's a big embarrassing situation. And a Lebanese lady, old lady, came out of nowhere, just popped up in Costco, and she told me, "Oh, هيك أبونا ليه بتعمل كده في العيال? Why are you doing this to your kids? This is not nice of you." I gave her a masked face. Everyone is looking at me, what I am going to do. The kids are waiting also what's going to happen. Then I made a U-turn. I dropped off all the items that I was planning to shop on the side. And I went through the cashier line, and I went through the Costco. And this while the kids are screaming on top of their lungs. They are screaming for what? What is their goal? No, we are in Costco, inside Costco. What is their goal? I changed my mind, and I let them go back and do whatever, and the whole thing. Both of them putting pressure to continue their own plan. And now I'm outnumbered, and I'm embarrassed in this. By the way, at this Costco, I never entered for 2 years after. ما عتبتوش. Then when we went out, the screaming turned out to be crying only. Can screaming or crying turn out to be crying only? Then I gave them both hug, and I told them, "Oh, I'm so sorry that you feel bad, but it is a bummer." Oh, what bummer? We're not going to Costco anymore. And when you fall, and I didn't get anything, and I couldn't leave them in the car. خلاص, it is done. They know, after this, they know that you are serious. When you say something, you will do it. When you do something, you say it. You're not playing games. You are not, one time yes, one time no. طب عشان خاطري, please give me another chance. All of those does not work. There is consequence. It will happen. It will happen. You will follow through. You will follow through. So this key point, changing one behavior and making things right with the kids, will spill over or will transfer on many, many other behaviors in the life. And this is, and I just wanted to really highlight this.
We were in McDonald's. He wanted a Happy Meal. I didn't have money for a Happy Meal. I said, just a hamburger. No, I want a Happy Meal. No, just a hamburger. That's all we're buying. Well, you always get what you want. You're being mean. And she said, I thought, what a wonderful chance for a tune-up. And she said, I got right in his face, grinned or frowned, yelled or whispered. And what was the first sound out of her mouth? Let's hear it. Oh. Do you think that might be another one of those bad decisions? He whipped around like this. He wouldn't even look at her. And then she heard a squeaky little voice, and it was saying, that sucks. How are we doing? We making some progress? But who's making the most progress? Mom, yeah. Is she starting to break that rant rave? And yeah. Okay, thank you.
So far, do you have any questions? But this is the first time that she ruined it. Yeah, but the second time she did all the planning and she talked with the target manager and she had the whole plan lined up. Maybe I missed it. Look, if you want to ruin the consequence, this is the list. Sorry, it's not this one. Oh. Ruining the consequence. Is to get even with anger, frustration, sarcasm, lecturing or warning, or you give in the consequence to tell them, you know what, خلاص I changed my mind, or give you another chance, that you know how dad loves you and how dad is good and mom is mean and all these games that we do. So the mom in the video discovered that saying, Roger, you are welcome to shop with me as long as you don't cause a problem. You may, this is a golden formula. You may watch screen as long as you don't watch shorts. This is my new rule مع kids. You may watch screen, but the problem is the shorts or the TikTok stuff or the very, very short videos. It really messed the brain, especially in the younger kids. It really messed the brain. So you can watch a movie, but you don't watch, because the movie is a continue. What is the difference between movie and TikTok or shorts? It's a really short time span. You are speaking about 15 seconds, 10 seconds. So now I'm wiring the mind of the brain of the kids not to be able to focus and not to be able to follow through and not to be able to start a movie and finish a movie is completely different than a reel that you are watching and you are doing nothing, and it is stimulating the brain, or it's stimulating the mind so much to the extent that the kids are not able to follow through things. So you may, or I only allow whatever if you do something. I will allow, or you are free to use the toys as long as you clean up after yourself. You may so and so as long as you do this. I will allow you and one time I think one of the kids, they didn't want to brush their teeth. Did you brush your teeth, Habibi? No. Did you brush your teeth? Many times, no. Then they started lying. Did you brush your teeth? Yes, I brushed my teeth. And you know that they are lying. The toothbrush is still dry, and there is, it is what it is. So the next day they go to McDonald's, and there were 5 mom, dad, and 3 siblings, and the little one is the one who is not brushing their teeth. So they ordered 4 ice cream. So everyone with the kids, Mom, Dad, are you sharing an ice cream? No, I'm not sharing. And I ordered for myself, and I ordered for Mom, and I ordered for the other 2. So everyone is puzzled who is not getting the ice cream. And the ice cream came, each one took his, and the kid who is not brushing their teeth, they didn't get an ice cream. طبعا this is a tantrum, or screaming, or yelling, or kicking the back of the seat and on top of their lungs, and I will call 911 because you are doing this to me. And in the end, we only allow ice cream for those who brush their teeth. We only allow whatever for those who do the behavior that we want. We only allow screen for those who are done with their homework. It is very disturbing that you see families and parents, the kids are going from home, they are on screen from 3 p.m. till 8 p.m. and then they start after 8 p.m. doing their homework. What is really the message that you are sending the kids? After 5 hours of screen, you are expecting them to do homework. You are rewiring the kids to be irresponsible, to lack discipline, to fail in their life, because simply you are not setting clear boundaries. So this is a magic statement. I only allow whatever, when, whatever you want to happen. I remember it. I only allow ice cream for those who brush their teeth, and you can remove by ice cream, and you put I only allow treats when kids are behaving and you are choosing kind words. I only allow you many, and it's unlimited. So the power of enforceable statements. I will listen to you when your voice is calm. I will tell you, this is a very, very funny, but it's a very sarcastic thing. And I was telling them, I will only listen to you when you are calm. Or I only allow people to talk to me when they are, or I only listen when your voice is calm. So one of the teachers was yelling to one of my kids, and my kid, they returned back to the teacher and they told them, I only listen to those whose voice are calm. And they gave them their back and they left. And now the teacher was even more aggressive and more mean with the kid, but it got resolved. But the whole thing is, as you empower the kids and as you set limits, it makes the difference. And I will listen to you when your voice is calm. I will listen to you when you are kind to your brother. I only allow screen for kids who are behaving. I only allow screen for kids who finish their homework. I only allow screen for kids who are on top of their workload. I think there is a long reading, I don't know in which page 23 in the workbook. the power of enforceable statement. So after, يعني, I don't think that we'll have time, but if you can read it, and this is turning your words into gold. Never tell a stubborn children or a spouse what to do. Describe what you are willing to do or allow instead. I will give you an example. I think this is a very powerful, very, very powerful one. Have you ever known a child who listened to their parents with the same level of concern as the average adult listened to a television or a commercial about vegetable choppers or knives that can cut through the soda cans or honest politician? Definitely no. Denver International Airport is a great place to study human behavior. Just second to the big store with the big blue sign, it is a great place to watch and learn. It was at gate B59, the time was 2:43. Little Tammy was having a great time at her poor mother's expense. Get over here, her desperate mother hollered. 2-year-old Tammy sped the other way. You need to sit down, her mother lectured. Tammy jumped in the air. Stop bothering that man, Mom said sternly. Tammy acted as if nothing but elevator music was coming out of her mother's mouth. I, Charles, the writer, found myself wondering when Tammy first started to learn that the sound of her mother's voice meant nothing. How many times you call the kids and the kids as if you are not there? Every time we tell a stubborn person what to do, they don't comply. Stop watching TV, they continue watching TV. Stop fighting with your brother, they continue fighting with their brother. Don't talk to me like this, they still talk to you like this. You are putting a rule of something that you don't have control over. You are telling someone to do something which is a very lame idea. They don't comply, they don't care. And we found ourselves at a loss for what to do. They learn, and I know a family, a Coptic family, their neighbors called 911 because of one statement. The mom is telling the girl, go to your room, and the girl is telling her, I'm not going. Go to your room, I'm not going. Go to. They started yelling. The neighbors called the police, and the whole thing is you are trying to force someone to do something and they don't want to do it. They can't. Does your bank is telling you, you know what? You better not do any overdrafts. Don't do any overdrafts. Don't do overdrafts. No, you do overdrafts. Your banking account minus $35, minus $50. They don't tell you what to do. They do what they can do to stop the behavior. So, because they want their kids to get good night's sleep, they lecture, go to sleep, and nothing is happening. It is a very lame idea, by the way, and very frustrating. I wonder how many times good and caring people tell their kids, you need to treat me with respect. Who cares? An old man started yelling in church. An old man started yelling in church. And as he started yelling, and I cannot tell an old man, stop yelling. So I told him, Uncle, if you continue raising your voice, I'm so sorry, I will do something, it will be embarrassing. I will give you my back and I will leave. I cannot tell him, don't yell. But if you continue yelling, I will do something. If you talk to me in a disrespectful way, this is a funny one. Yeah, stopped on the spot. Because I was serious. It will be very embarrassing. You are yelling and I'm talking to you and you keep raising your voice and I cannot, you know what? I cannot control you. So I can control what I'm going to do. There is many stories. You don't need more stories from me. But at least, never tell a stubborn child or a spouse or adult, even a co-worker, you stop doing this. One of my friends, this is actually one of the things that I learned growing up. We had a very, very righteous friend in high school. And every time we are talking, I noticed that there is something very strange happens. We are in a circle, we are talking, and this guy give any excuse and leave the group. First time, second time, third time. Then I reached out to him afterwards. I told him, is everything okay? He told me, yeah, everything is okay. I told him, no, but there is something going on, because it seems there is something bothering you, or you leave the group because there is something going on. He told me, I don't like gossiping. ما بحبش النميمة. I don't like gossiping. So when people start gossiping, I leave. I cannot tell people to stop gossiping, stop speaking about each other. أقول لك إيه? It's none of your business. The least, none of your business. ده مالك أنت. So he used to disappear. And it hit me that he doesn't go in confrontation, he doesn't escalate, he doesn't yell, he doesn't tell people what to do. But we always fall in this trap. We ask kids to do something, especially if they are stubborn, they will do the opposite. So you need to set limits with enforceable statement, when we enjoy the benefit of always being able to follow through on our word. I will follow through on this guy who is yelling in the church. I will make a U-turn and I will leave. I can do this. I will follow through by deducting money from my kids' bank account when they don't clean their rooms. I will follow through this. I have the authority. I am able to. Don't threat, don't yell, don't fall in anger, but do enforceable limits, something that you can do. I wish that people can listen when we say, مثلا, please come early to church, please come early to church, please come early to church. But we can use another way of dealing with the issue. You know what? We will only allow, and I have heard it many times from some abunas, we only allow people to take communion who came early to the church, or who came and attended the gospel and attended the readings or the sermon or whatever. No, the money is gone. The money is gone. When you park in the wrong parking spot, do they give you the money back when you park in the right parking spot? No incentive. No, I just and I take a screenshot from the bank account. But some of my kids are older now, so they have a bank account. They have allowance. I keep repeating, allowance is a key to give the kids to know, to do the math. And I need this in the Christmas. I have this amount of money. How can I make up the difference? This is how life is. So the kids are on, when they go to college, they are ready. They are well established. They know the finance. They know what to do with money. We had a great talk, a great series of talk with the youth, Finance 101, given by a great servant. And it is amazing how when we ask the kids, maybe 25% of the kids raise their hands, and they know they know the credit card, they know the debit card, they know the bank accounts, they know the loans, they know the interest on the loans, they know a lot of stuff. And the 75%, zero they don't have any clue about anything. They don't ever deal with money. This is, I think it's a very, very important thing that we integrate the small concepts about money, about how to deal with money. You spend on what you need, then you save for what you want, and you donate, and you help others with money that you have. So when we use enforceable statement, we dramatically increase the odds that our kids will listen very carefully when we open our mouth. I give dessert to kids who finish their dinners. You don't know how many moms I have seen running after their kids to eat, almost begging the kids to eat. And the kids, they don't care. You have tools, but you need to sit down, slow down, and really think of the behavior. I think this is, the session 2, the main point of it is empathy, 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 empathy. Session 3, the main point of it is those enforceable states. I only allow, remember, ice cream for those who brush their teeth, and remove the parts and utilize it as you see fit. You may drive the family car when you made a deposit equal to the insurance deductible into my checking account. I will read you as long as none of your fingers are in your nose. You may keep the toys you pick up. You may be with us as long as you allow Dad and me to finish our conversation without being interrupted. This is a powerful one. Even though I'm not your biological mom, I respect myself too much to do extra things for someone who treats me like a doormat. You may have a cell phone as long as you are paying for the phone and the service. The dinner is served by this time. You may want to eat enough to hold you until breakfast. Not served by 7 and served by 8. We serve by waking mom at midnight. Please prepare for me the food. Oh, Habibi Anaya, Habib Albi, are you hungry? By midnight. And you go, and all of those are stuff that the kids are manipulating and getting their own ways with us, not teaching them the right way or not teaching them how to respect and to honor what we tell them. I allow kids to attend music concert when I go along or they are with another adult I trust. I can call the police when I find drugs in my home. Yes, I will call the police when I find. But this is harsh. This is parents and addiction. I find a lot of problems, a lot of issues with the parents. But the more the stubborn are the kids, and they get their own ways. Unfortunately, it is very hard to change the behavior unless we intervene early. If I found drugs in the home, I will call the police, and we will call the police. بس الواد هيتبهدل, but he will end up being in jail, but he will lose his license, but he will, and you go on and on and on and on of a consequence, and they don't learn from their mistakes, and you see older kids, or you see them, God forbid, taking overdose or overdosing on drugs and stuff like this. So turning your words into goal, page 26, there is a exercise. I think this one, you should do it. You should do it at your own. Page 26 in the workbook. Enforceable statements بتبدأ would start, you may say, or I will only allow if this will happen. Brush your teeth. I do allow kids to brush their teeth, to enjoy treats or to eat sweets. Leave each other alone. Quit acting like a bunch of crazy kids. I charge $2 a minute when I have to listen to kids argue with each other. This is a brilliant one. I charge $2 per minute when I listen to the argument between kids about irrelevant stuff. You will make a fortune. You will wipe out the bank statement or the piggy bank. So far, do you have any questions? Pete.
So how do you reconcile empathy with trying to reinforce a rule in the house? Like, for example, no dinner past 7 o'clock, but at the same time, you gotta be the caring parent, and يعني maybe your spouse might tell you, مثلا, like, no, they can't sleep without eating food, they gotta eat something. So give them something just to kind of shut them up, and that way they can sleep. So in my mind, that's the empathy part, but at the same time, I want to enforce a rule, يعني, without being, يعني, so that's why I'm having a hard time reconciling the two.
I will tell you a story happened with us. We had the first two kids, they are out of sleeping schedule. We are trying to make them go to sleep on time. They are out of sleeping schedule. Then we went to Egypt, jet lag, they are out of sleeping schedule as well. We returned back, and Manal is pregnant with the twins, and now we are expecting two to join the another two. Now we have 4 kids who are out of sleeping pattern. This would be a nightmare. This is literally a nightmare. Usually I don't get scared from stuff, but this is one of the things that scared me, that the 4 kids are sleeping off schedule. And so we, both of us, this is a key, that we talk, now we have a big problem, now we need to take an action. So the kids, they jump from the crib, they want to come and sleep with us in the room, any time, any moment, any schedule. So we went back and forth for a couple of weeks, then we said, you know what, this needs to stop. And what was the plan? The plan was we are going to lock our room from within, and we tell the kids, this is time for sleeping. If you wake up, you can jump. If you wake up and you need to go to the restroom, go to the restroom and go back to your bed. If you need to do something, whatever you need to do, but we are out of reach. So we had 2 nights. It was a nightmare. 3 a.m. They jumped, start knocking on the door. I think one of the older kid, my daughter woke up. Then she started screaming. No, me and Manel are not going. She jumped. Then she woke up Mark. Then Mark is now crying, and she is crying, and both of them are in front of the door, hitting the door. As a night. This is a nightmare. And me and Manel, we didn't sleep this night. But we are not sleeping all the nights. So when you say, no, what I'm going to lose, man, at least I will enforce one thing. And in this night, we were awake in the inside of the room. We are not responding to them. Because if you respond then I will yell more, then I will scream more, and we didn't respond. And they started crying, but the brain goes dead after a while. What is the point of crying, man? I keep crying, or I keep yelling, or I keep doing whatever till something happens. If it will take me 2 hours of crying, so as you open the door, I will cry for 2 hours. If it will take 3 hours, I will cry for 3 hours. And the first night, we didn't sleep. Maybe by 5 or 6 a.m. we started sleeping. When they stopped crying, and they slept on the door on the carpet outside of the door. So after we woke up, we opened the door, we found them sleeping on the ground. Oh, baby, I give them a hug. What happened? What was going on? Oh, we kept knocking on the door. I'm so sorry. Here is the empathy. I told you, I will never open the door. No, I'm not getting back at you. And we hugged them. They were devastated that how we did this to them. We gave them hug, we gave them kisses, and we told them we only allow the door to open when we are in the morning. At night, what do? You sleep where? You are. Is it easy? No, it is not easy. But the key is you need to enforce. So you got my point? So in the time of, if dinner is served by 7, I will sync with Manal first. But we don't want to have a leak in front of the kids, and we disagree, and now we are shooting ourselves in our foot. Are we okay? Are we okay? Okay. Then we only allow dinner till 7 p.m. Oh, I didn't have dinner. I'm hungry. You are mean. I will call Child Protective Services. I will go and give them a hug and kiss. And that, I'm so sorry that you are feeling hungry. Do you have anything in, maybe you can drink some water, maybe you can do this. You show compassion, you show empathy while you are enforcing, but it is not cooking them dinner by 11 p.m. But the key to succeed is that we are one. Me and you and your spouse, the husband and the wife are on the same page. So we are having if Manal was not with me in the same page, when the kids were knocking on the door, the good news is the second night, they said, hey, let us test it. They came, they knocked on the door, no response. They didn't stay all night. They returned back to their bed, they jumped on, and they slept. And since then, we had the system in sleeping. The whole idea is enforce, but show the compassion. I'm not here to put you down or to break your personality or to, I will show really them compassion while I'm enforcing the rules. Yeah, the whole, but you need to be also, and if you are making rules of dinner, you cannot make it the rule for dinner for the courageous kid 1 and kid 2 is getting away with whatever they want. So I need to be fair with both. But if the behavior of the sensitive kid is they whine and they cry, مثلا somebody took their toy, they cry for 15 minutes. I give them a hug and I love them. I tell them, you know what, it feels very bad that you are sad, but I only allow ice cream for kids who get over it quickly. This rule does not, the other kid does not need it because they get over it quickly and there is no big deal. But if the other kid is aggressive, for example, so I only allow ice cream, and I'm just staying with the ice cream idea because so as you remember, I only allow ice cream for kids who are kind to their siblings. You get my point? But if it is a rule on everything, a rule about food, rule about money, rule about school, then the rule should come across everyone, or should be the same with everyone. I think our time is running tight. Kids always come to need at least the same number of warning and reminders as they are given. And if
what do you think about this? Do you think your life would be better if your kids would listen to you the first time you asked? What do you think about that? Wouldn't it be great if they just did what you asked the first time and you didn't have to nag and remind? I'm thinking about a dad who trained his 2 little kids to do just that. Yeah. He comes to me and he starts telling me, unloading all about how just out of control these 2 little kids were. My 2-year-old, my 4-year-old, oh, they're so out of control. They won't listen to anything I say. We go out in public. Oh, it's awful, man. The 2-year-old's climbing on the table. The 4-year-old's going around and talking to everybody and annoying everybody else. It's just chaos. I said, oh, that's awful. And he said, you know what? I knew I had to do something about it. So I decided that I'd take them to Chuck E. Cheese's. I said, what? I said, I took them to Chuck E. Cheese's. I said, I'm not getting you. He said, well, they were out of control in public, so I decided I got to take them to Chuck E. Well, hold on a second here. See, in my universe, when kids are acting up real bad in public and stuff, I mean, I don't take them someplace that they want to go. You hear what I'm saying, folks? Yeah. I said, I don't get it. He said, oh, I'm sorry, I kind of jumped ahead. See, my problem was that I was always threatening But I was never following through. I was always saying, if you guys keep acting that way, we're leaving. But see, the problem was that we were always someplace that I wanted to be, or we were with friends, or and he said, suddenly I realized it. Take them someplace you hate, and there'll be no hesitation in your follow-through. I said, that's brilliant. He said, yeah, I know, man. I can't stand that place. So I took him there for a little training session. Yeah, it was great. I planned it all out. We walked into Chuck E. Cheese's, and I said, guys, we can stay here as long as it does not cause a problem.
It's the same formula. We can stay here as long as it doesn't cause any problem. We can be in this place as long as it does not cause any problem.
Yeah, and then I started praying, oh, please let these kids act up. Please let these kids act up. It took them a while to start getting out of control. The 2-year-old starts climbing up on the table, doing her usual thing. The 4-year-old's running away from me, going and bothering other people. Right when the pizza arrives, I just got up and I said, oh, this is so sad. And I walked away. How do you suppose they reacted? No reaction at all. He said it was a testament to my awful parenting in the past. They had no neurons in their head that actually thought I would actually follow through. Oh, Dad's having one of his spells again. Just ignore him. It'll be fine. Well, I just kept going, and pretty soon he might actually do this. And I get out in the parking lot. Now they're following, our pizza, our pizza, our pizza. And I just said, hey, don't you worry about that pizza. Some other kids will be able to eat it. It won't go to waste. You don't worry about that pizza. No! I got the 2-year-old in the seat. I got the 4-year-old in the car. We're heading home. They're screaming. There's snot running out of their noses. I got my earplugs in. I planned it all out. Well, I wasn't ready, though. I just didn't feel like that was enough. We had another little training session. Yeah, we're in the supermarket. Yeah. And I just said, guys, you can shop with me as long as it does not cause a problem. Yeah. And they were behaving, which wasn't good. So I thought, look at there's the toy aisle. I bet if I just pull by there, some good stuff will happen. So I eased over by the toy aisle and I kind of slowed down. Now the 4-year-old's looking at me like, Dad's different now. But the 2-year-old, oh yeah, she's screaming and whining for stuff and just being awful. And I just said, oh, that is so sad. And I pulled a U-turn and I burned rubber out of the store. Yeah, with the cart and the kids, and the cart was full of food and just right out the front of the store. And I figured if the cops came, that would make a even better training session. He said actually I'd called the manager and told him that gave him my credit card number and everything, so we were good. And I just roared out the front of that store, and I took the 2-year-old out of the cart, and I put her in the car seat, and I buckled her in, and I handed my car keys to my best friend who was parked right next to us, and I just went right back in that store with the 4-year-old, and we had a nice shopping trip. Came out eating samples and all sorts of stuff. Now, isn't it a miracle that his best friend was parked right next? Or could it have been a setup all along? Oh. He said, well, we were in the hardware store a couple weeks later, and I didn't have a plan. And the 2-year-old's starting to ramp it up again. And I'm thinking, oh no, I'm hoping for that transfer effect that they're talking about. And we're getting through the store, and the 2-year-old's getting a little rambunctious. And I just look at her and I go, oh, like that. And she just kind of looked at me for a second. And then the 4-year-old sees me and turns to the 2-year-old and says, you'll be good. And she was. We had a great shopping trip. How do you teach your kids to listen the first time? Don't tell them a second time. See, what Dad did is he applied what we call a strategic training session. Yeah. And what are the steps? The first step is what? Did he put together a plan? Yeah, and the key is to plan it out so well that you can pull it off without breaking a sweat. The second step is figure out whose support you're going to need. Yeah, find out who you need to help you out with it. Yeah. Okay, so he did that. The third step, set a simple limit that you know you can enforce. Yeah, we get to do this, or we get to stay as long as it does not cause a problem. There you go. Yeah. Now, what's the next step? Hope and pray they blow it. Yeah. Yeah. Hope and pray they blow it. Why do you do that? So you're not so tempted to remind. Yeah. And the final step is you let that empathy and the logical consequence do the teaching.
I think we have to stop here. Maybe next time, if we start a little bit earlier, I can show you the last video. And glory be to God forever and ever. Amen. Let us pray together. Hear us, O Lord, when we call upon you. Thank you, our Father, heart in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.